4:30 in the morning here in the capital. It's everyone. You're watching Press TV's Top 5. Many thanks for joining us this hour. Now, tens of thousands of people have demonstrated in the Austrian capital against ill treatment of refugees. Anger has boiled over following the discovery of the bodies of 71 refugees in an abandoned truck in Austria. The Vienna March took place as service was held for the victims. The Archbishop of the city expressed regret over the deaths and the suffering of the asylum seekers. The rally and the service took place shortly after trains packed with refugees arrived from Hungary after they had been stopped at the border for several hours. Also in Germany and Serbia, events were held to highlight the crisis. In the German city of Leipzig, thousands of pro-refugee activists marched against an offshoot of a racist movement known as Pegida.
A huge rally in Vienna just days after the bodies of 71 refugees were found in an abandoned truck close to the border with Hungary. Demonstrators call on the Austrian and other European governments to protect refugees. Human rights groups say while a country like Lebanon is hosting 1.5 million refugees, Austria, which is 8 times bigger, should not have a problem with the current 40,000.
I think if a person, a refugee, come to Europe and he steps his feet on the ground from Europe, he has to be safe. And all the borders have to open for the refugees. They are coming from terror, from war.
The Austrian Interior Ministry has toughened controls at its eastern borders for an undetermined period of time.
And we want to put pressure on the Ministry of Interior, on our government, because they say no to refugees here. And we want to show the big wave of solidarity in Austria.
Addressing the rally, a Syrian national who fled the war in her country and sought asylum in Austria 3 years ago choked up as she complained about Arab neighbours unwilling to give shelter to refugees and the plight of those headed for Europe.
I see every day like bad news. So many people die and I cannot do anything.
The European Union has called for an emergency meeting, but protesters say the crisis will not be resolved as long as the political will does not exist. The Austrian foreign minister recently said until there's a united European response, the problem is not going to be resolved. Demonstrators here say more urgent action is needed by Austria and other European countries to address the humanitarian crisis. I'm Homaleski for Press TV in Vienna.